Welcome to Transcendence and Eminence. We're here today with Mr. Billy Carson.
Hey man, it's an honor. The last time I saw you in person was, I believe, Egypt.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Which was an amazing trip, by the way.
Thank you, man. Yeah.
It was amazing, man. It was life changing. So I really appreciate that opportunity.
Yeah, that was a great tour. I think we were out there for about 12 days, and we went to all the ancient sites, the pyramids, the Nile cruise, And I think the time where I really got a chance to sit down with you was probably on that Nile cruise. When we kind of talked the most. During that time, we had a minute to break away and talk, and that's when I kind of realized that we were like kindred spirits,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And now we're here in Australia.
Yeah, man, Australia.
And the connection with Egypt and Australia is unbelievable. I never realized that there was a connection.
Yeah, it's a huge connection. It's really wild that the original inhabitants of ancient Kemet, which we now call Egypt, were the Dogon tribe. And the Dogon tribe, which holds a lot of celestial knowledge that was given to them by the Nomo. And those gods came from Sirius B, a star system light years away. And Sirius B is a failed star. In other words, it ran out of fuel, became a white dwarf. And they claimed that these beings came from that star to this planet to create a breakaway civilization. They lived amongst the Dogon, and they also brought them celestial knowledge and wisdom. And the crazy part is, the Dogon traveled from Mali, Africa, Egypt and Mali, all the way across to Australia, and also set up, a home site here, and their lineage can be found here in Australia as well. So we don't know if they started here first and then went to Kemet, or if they went to Kemet and came here. But the direct connection between the Dogon tribe, which the Aboriginal elders know very well about, is between Australia and Egypt. So we're talking about a direct connection just by that one tribe.
Right.
And as we saw today, there's many, many more connections. It's incredible.
And just the evidence that you see in the hieroglyphs is just unbelievable to see the depiction of Thoth there.
Yeah.
It's just,
that's mind-boggling, right? I wrote that book, Compendium of the Emerald Tablets, and we were in Egypt and we saw Thoth all over the place, because according to the ancient Egyptians, he ruled over them for 16,000 years, one man. But then you can see depictions of him all over the world with different names. And in this particular case here in Australia, he's here in a giant petroglyph in the outback that we walked to, right, in that hot sun. And he's there. He's got Orion's belt. He's wearing Orion's belt literally. He's got on a spacesuit. Got on a spacesuit, man.
It's insane.
And he's got his foot on the edge of what they call a sky ship. So this is not a ship that sails in the ocean, it sails in the skies. And then he's connected to the female aspect, which is actually Maat in Egypt. So his female counterpart's here as well, and she's holding on to the tail of a kangaroo, which here means she's holding on to the law.
Right.
And in ancient Egypt, she wrote the 42 laws of Maat. So we see Thoth and his wife, Maat, here in Australia, in the outback, in petroglyphs, for who knows how many tens of thousands of years.
Right.
And then we see the same thing happening in the hieroglyphs and the records left behind in ancient Egypt of both two of the same people.
Right. So the last site that we went to, was that a depiction of like a creation story?
Yeah, there was a creation story out there in it was written into limestone and etched into limestone, and it was this cycle, this huge clockwise cycle where we saw the beings arrive, the seeding and genetic modification, the mankind being created, the law being put out, the knowledge being given out, astrology being taught. You name it. There's just one big cycle of how you would raise up a civilization, and this information and the evidence of this is right here in the outback.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I'm just so glad that I got to come here and experience this, especially after having been to Egypt with you.
Yeah.
To come here and again, unbelievable, life-changing experience here as well.
Yeah, it is. We've got the greatest guides. We have a real Aboriginal elder in Stephen guiding us around. One of the true originals. This man grew up in the outback. You know, he knows everything. What's so good about him? He crosses over because he can bring you the mainstream knowledge. He can bring you the scientific terminology, and he can bring you the Aboriginal knowledge. He can combine all three together. He can make it make sense to people like us who visit here. And he's been gifted with those sacred stones, and also all those ancient skulls.
Right.
I mean, wow. What just mind-blowing to see those skulls that he's got with no sagittal sutures. You know, we have 3 sagittal sutures. These skulls had none. They had, the thickness was like 15% thicker than a human skull. They were more massive, more brain capacity. These beings had huge brains and were massive. They probably stood 8 to 12 feet tall. Yeah, and he's got the evidence right there, you know, in his little suitcase that he carries around. But he's been blessed with being able to guard these mysteries and secrets, and also dispense some of that information to people like us who he feels are worthy to hear it.
Those guys are the real deal.
Yeah,
they really are. Really enjoyed listening to them, and you know, going out to those sites it's unreal.
Yeah,
I think you just have to come here and experience it for yourself.
Yeah, it's mind blowing. It was my second time going to the Gosford glyphs. Those were those proto-Egyptian hieroglyphs that you saw.
Right.
And I mean, that we never know when it's going to be the last time. The first time I came, we were probably, I don't know, 5 meters lower. But the debris filled up in that trench because the government came and blew up the roof part, and so the debris from the roof fell into the walkway between the 2 stones that are etched. Who knows how much longer it's going to be before they do something else stupid like that, right? You got a chance to see firsthand for the first time what most people on the planet will never see. Proto-Egyptian authenticated hieroglyphs that date back 5,000 years in the outback. And how was it getting there? Like, how did you feel? It wasn't a casual walk on a sidewalk, was it?
No, no, man. It was a little rough, I have to admit,
yeah.
but it was worth it.
Yeah.
It was worth it.
Yeah. It was off the beaten path, you know. And what's crazy is that when I came here in 2020, we were out there on that rock face, the one we camped out on for a minute and talked. Mm-hmm. And I heard this noise, like I could hear it in the distance. And they were like, "There's nothing here, mate. There's nothing here." I said, "There's somebody here." And they were like, "There's nobody here." And then within a few minutes, maybe 4 or 5 minutes, this couple comes through the bush. And they were like, "Hey, how'd you?" I said, "I can hear them." They couldn't believe me, but I said, I can hear these people. And so they had gotten lost looking for those same Gosford glyphs. They had been there for a day and a half. No water, no food, no nothing, no supplies. We gave them water, we gave them food. And, you know, the guy recognized me. He's like, "Hey, Billy Carson, can I take a selfie?" His girlfriend wasn't too happy. She looked like she was like ready to get out of there. And then now, fast forward, it's now 2026.
Happens again.
What happened?
Happens again. 2 people wander up, same thing, exact same thing.
I know.
Is that Billy Carson?
In the outback.
In the outback. Nobody else was out there.
There's nobody out there. Kangaroos, that's it, dingoes and whatever. And I'm like, I hear people on the trail. I said, somebody's on this trail with us. And they were like, "I don't think there's anybody on this trail, mate." And I'm like, I said, "There's somebody on the trail." Then about 30 minutes later, we're getting closer to the Gosford glyphs. And I hear them coming. I turn back and there's people coming up behind us. That was wild. It happened 2 times, 2 different time periods. And both people were fans. The lady she was shaking, you know. It's like, amazing people. Great to meet those people. And they got a lot of courage, man. Because, you know, there's no guideposts, there's no signs, you know. You can get lost out there. Yeah,
they were definitely brave.
Yeah.
Good thing they ran into us, though.
Yeah.
They ended up getting a nice free tour.
I know. I was like, "Hey, I see what you did here." But that was pretty cool. But to see those Gosford glyphs, man, and see that connection, you know, those Egyptian hieroglyphs, the cartouche, and the story. What got me wanting to come here was when I saw Stephen and Evan at the glyphs on YouTube, maybe now 14 years ago. He was talking about this story in the glyphs. He was deciphering it, where two brothers came here, sons of Khufu. And they attribute the Great Pyramid to Khufu, but obviously he didn't really build it. But whatever, his sons came here. He was a pharaoh. His sons came here. One got bit by a snake, and the other one tried to save his life and couldn't. And he wrote down in the hieroglyphs the story of what happened here. The story of the brothers returning with the dead brother is in Egypt, in the hieroglyphs. So when I went to Egypt in 2014 and I saw this story of the return, and I had just not too many months before watched Stephen talking and deciphering the glyphs in the Gosford glyphs, talking about the two brothers, and one died, and he took his brother, he wrapped him, he mummified him there, and took him with him back to Egypt. I was blown away. I was like, this is a real story. And that was my life's mission then, to get to Australia. I finally got there in 2020 for the first time, and just mind-blowing. But what you're seeing here, man, is a depth of history that most people will never even know or hear of, or it's not in many documentaries, it's not on many TV shows, but the true origins of a lot of the ancient stuff, the ancient astronauts and everything else, originates here in Australia.
I just find it fascinating. I always assumed that the oldest civilizations were in the Middle East or in Africa, but you come here and these guys tell us it's right here.
Yeah.
And starting to kind of believe it.
Millions of years they go back. Millions. They know about Lemuria.
Right.
They know about Mu. They have that one limestone cliff that we were on yesterday, where it shows the landing place or location where the Pleiadians landed. And their verbal handed down history here for eons is that they were seated here by Pleiadians. They were visited by Pleiadians. Well, the Pleiadians came here first. There were no people yet, but then they were seated and left here on this earth. The Hopi tribe, I sat with the elders in North America, right? The Hopi elders in Arizona. And they said that we were seated on this planet by the Pleiadians, our star brothers. And so what you have here is a story spanning thousands of miles, the same story, the same history, two different cultures, supposedly completely disconnected from each other. So it tells you that something happened. These people, these beings who visited this planet, it really happened at some point in the ancient past, and it affected two cultures halfway around the world.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And we got more to come tomorrow.
Yeah. We're gonna go sit with some Aboriginals out in the wilderness where they live. I believe they live right up at the base of a mountain, and so we're gonna go out to that mountain and we'll hang out there. The producer from Netflix is gonna be there again, which is pretty cool to have him show up today and film me for this show.
Right.
Yeah. And so wow, that's just an honor. Just happened to be perfect timing, and it's gonna be great to be out there and just see them in their environment, in their element, and how and the wisdom that they have, and to get that wisdom. It's what I love, just going around the world. I've sat with pyramid priests, sages, wisdom keepers, bushmen, mystics from all around the world. And now I get a chance to sit again with these elders. The last time I came, I got some great knowledge, but now I'm going to get around a group of them, and I just want to draw the wisdom,
Absolutely. And so where's the next stop after here?
Wow. Whew. After here, we got Bosnia.
Okay.
Bosnia, the Bosnian pyramid complex in Europe. And most people don't even know that there's pyramids in Europe, massive pyramids. The Pyramid of the Sun in Bosnia is larger than the pyramid in Giza in Africa, in Egypt. And so it's like, wow. And they're interconnected by tunnels, a tunneling system. The entire valley is pyramids, even though they've only really officially stated one as a name. The others are just covered in debris and trees and brush. But there's 5 pyramids in that valley. And one is almost shaped like a 5-sided pyramid. I mean, it just makes you ask the question, like, what in the world could have happened back then? How'd they get this level of technology? And in one of those tunnels leading into the Pyramid of the Sun, they found the K2 megalith crystal. And on that crystal, it says, it was etched in ancient runes, the type of writing. It's easily decipherable. It says, we must stand and defense until we can walk through the Stargate. We must stand and defense until we can walk through the Stargate. So obviously they had Stargate portal technology back then. But that's my next stop is Bosnia. And then from there straight to Egypt.
Back to Egypt.
Back to Egypt again on a great tour in the summer. And then we've got Turkey. We'll see what happens. Hopefully we'll see what pans out with all the situation in the Middle East. And then Egypt again in October. And then Mexico at the end of October. So big year for tours this year. Mexico is already filling up pretty quickly. That's going to be an amazing pyramid tour of Mexico. Exclusive VIP access, climbing the pyramids, going inside of the pyramids in Teotihuacan, which is unheard of, and really getting a chance to do a lot of on-site research.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Man, I highly recommend anyone who's interested in ancient civilizations and esotericism and things like that to definitely go on one of your tours, man, because it's definitely life-changing.
Thank you.
And I'm going to try to make it out there to that Bosnian one.
Okay,
for sure.
Yeah, nice.
And I'm going to keep coming, man, because every time I get more enlightenment and it's a life-changing experience every time I come out with you, man.
Yeah, thank you.
And so, man, thank you, brother.
It's an honor, brother. Thank you, man.
Thank you so much, man.
Yes, sir. And make sure we share this. We're going to share this everywhere. It's going to be an amazing video.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Billy.
No problem.
And we'll see you soon.
All right, cool. Peace.
All right, peace.
Boars.